Okay, if you're new here, and a lot of you probably are because we only had like 1,500 followers last December, and it's just kind of blown up out of nowhere. People following our septic content and our rental content, but I know a lot of you guys don't know. So here is the origin story behind everything. I was in the Air Force. I got in when I was 18 years old, and the Air Force took me all over the world as a mechanic. I worked on F-16s and had a ton of great mentors, had a ton of great friends, had a ton of good fun. Matter of fact, I would probably still be in right now had I not started a family. That is really what propelled me to do, and Kristen, to do what we do. I would have stayed in 20 years, 20, 30, until they kicked me out and I couldn't stay there anymore. I would have stayed in. But that was like a common theme among all of my leadership. They all had a divorce, and they all like. I didn't want that. Like, almost everyone in my upper leadership had a divorce. It was almost a rarity to see someone that had been married throughout it all. But yeah, in that clip just before, I got to serve with my brother. But every time I got back from war, we were just doing exercises like this to get ready to go to war again, and it just seemed kind of repetitive. And every time I got off that airplane, these two right here were getting just a little bit bigger and just a little bit bigger. And I had to watch them on FaceTime, and it just sucked. So what I did was, I was like, you know what? I'm about to marry Kristen, and I'm about to find a way to make money. And so me and her would sit down in front of the TV. Also, I left the Air Force, and I started working as a not general contractor, but a contractor at a local Army base, and was still an aircraft mechanic, and still trying to figure out real estate in the meantime along with Kristen. So we're reading books, we're sitting down in front of YouTube, we're talking to people, we're doing everything that we know to do to learn this stuff, because the people, they weren't exactly giving away the information. And it was like reading hieroglyphics, a lot of gatekeepers in the industry. But in the meantime, me and Kristen stumbled upon the deal of a lifetime at the beginning of COVID. We bought this trailer park right here. It was listed at like, I think $369 or $269. We bought it for $80,000. And we didn't know how much of a jackpot we had hit at that time, because we also went on to buy this home right here and another 2 right down the street. It was like dream come true for real estate. We bought 4 homes. Don't know how we did it. We were living paycheck to paycheck. We managed to come up with the money. We were just hustling here and there. Kristen actually had a job at the post office at the time. She was working crazy hours. I'm talking getting up at 2 a.m., not getting home to like 5 the next day. It was crazy. She worked a lot of overtime. And meanwhile, I would work on the rentals because she was basically supplying the money. Then Kristen had some crazy paychecks at $21 an hour. She'd bring home like almost $2,000, which is crazy, $2,000 working at the post office. But anyways, we got past those days, and this was our first home that we ever had. And we rented it out, and we seen the power of real estate. So we're like, you know what? We've got to keep going. So we bought another trailer park, and we were able to leverage the equity that we had in our first trailer park to buy this one right here. And this one was really our golden goose. It got us to where we were making $10,000 a month. But I had to do all the maintenance. That's the only way we were able to make that kind of money, is Daddy had to get after it. And Kristen did too. There's a lot of times she got a little doo-doo on her lip too. She's had to clean up from some terrible tenants, I mean, we've experienced bad tenants. It's just part of it. It's part of the game. It's nothing you can avoid. But that being said, we've had some great tenants too. But like getting into this, like we didn't know people would do us this way. Like, I can't believe they didn't pay us. Well, people just ain't gonna pay you sometimes, and you just got to be used to that in the game. At this juncture right here, I'm still working a W-2 job, and I'm still buying trailers, and we're really just stressed out all the time, trying to figure out like, how do you be successful? So we go back to what we know. We were watching videos, we were reading books, we were talking to people, and the more that we learned, we were like, man, this is just part of it. That's just a part of the game. Thank God, like we had people like my dad and just other people that help us throughout our journey. Because like, man, there's been some times where we needed a break, and Pops, since he knew how to work on AC, guess what? He was there to save me. And this is just us right here. This is toward like a year and a half, 2 years ago, whenever we were kind of experienced and we knew how to get a home and set it up and what all had to happen. But in the first couple homes, man, it was a grind. So if you're new here, that's our story. I know that's kind of like a quick overview, but that's us. Now we're mobile home dealers. We're about to open up a dealership. I run a septic company, and we're still setting up homes, just a little bit slower. But yeah, this is my last couple days of my W-2 job right there. But now we're a full-time septic, putting up pads, setting up mobile homes. But that is our story, and that's over the course of 7 years right there. So if you're thinking about getting started, start now. Don't wait.